Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 42 of On the Backs of Gods. We finally sorted ourselves out and we're here. And hopefully you can hear everybody, knock on wood. I am your DM, Jillian. Here today we have our players. Same as always, we have Frank, Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. Now, I'm going to give us a quick little recap, and then I think we are good to jump back into things. Last session, the Ave's funeral had taken place, and the party split off in different directions during that time to do what they saw fit to do at the funeral. Roshan spoke to the shadow and made some, job connections there. Saga went with Hertha and they made little baby clothes. Tordrecht and Gorbjorn got shit-faced as the good Lord intended. Fen took a nap and
whole ass mood.
Some honestly, it would not have shocked me if all of you had been like, and we all go to bed. And the next day, you all go about your business. Roshan gathering some of his companions together in hopes of doing a ritual, some ritual involving multiples of his friends and items they need to go acquire. The party splits to go find these items. Fen ends up sending a package back home that contains his armor. His borrowed armor. Half the party splits. Saga and Fen go to pick some flowers, mostly weeds. Saga also received a letter from B, who we assume is Broggy, but you never know. Somebody else could have that name and know about Lady Saidr. What are you going to do? But it's probably Broggy. While Fen and Saga are out to go pick flowers, they see a person who is set up right outside of Gullundr, packing their tent back up and going inside, and was looking for Nanna Hemming. Gorbjorn goes in pursuit, mostly consisting of sneaky rolling across the ground and occasionally slipping a coin into a person's pocket. Very stealth-like, very, very Robin Hood, very, very sneaky Robin Hood.
Prince Gorbjorn. I think the legend of Robin Hood is based on Prince Gorbjorn.
It's true. That's what the legends say. This person eventually makes their way to Hertha's place where Nanna is and says that she's an associate of Eagles and would like to talk about the contract. She is led inside, and eventually she comes back out and releases the contract into the air. I am not exactly going to start at that moment. I am going to start a little ways back, back to the night of the funeral, just to fill in some blanks real quick. Nanna, as you're making your way through the crowd, a large group of people going to the Longhouse, heading in that way yourself, you are confronted by Hertha, who stops in front of you and leans in close. Listen, before you tell any of the elders anything, you need to speak to me, all right? No matter what they ask you, hold it off for a day. Come see me. We'll talk about it, all right?
All right, I can do that.
Good. And she picks up and starts walking in the exact opposite direction of where the funeral party is taking place, back towards her home. And as you're kind of pulled away by the crowd, you can see Saga jogging after Hertha, and they leave together. The night goes as one would expect, which consists of loud song and heavy drinking. You do note that it is not the same as Hersterson's funeral, which was maybe the biggest bash of the century, but it's nice and it's comforting for what it is. You eventually make your way home and pass out and you wake up the next morning. In some ways better, in some ways worse, but you are now conscious. What would you like to do?
um. Well, I think the first thing Nanna would do is sort of try to inquire with Hertha about when she would like to talk things over with Nanna, because this sounds important, and it is important to Nanna that she convey, you know, the facts of what happened to Ave to Hertha, she being, you know, his widow and her sister-in-law.
Okay. So you head over to her place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You head in, and it's the smell of like a cooked breakfast when you get there. Hertha ushers you in. Your friend Saga stayed the night. She cooked up some things, and then she disappeared, but it was very sweet of her.
That is Saga right down to the ground. I hope she wasn't too much. She can be exuberant.
Usually, I think that would be a lot, and it certainly was, but it was nice.
I'm glad.
Um,
She's wonderful. She's been a steady companion.
That's good. I think we should go about this as swiftly and easily as possible. First, I would like to know what happened. And I'm not going to ask you, Nanna, to describe the whole thing to me. I just want to know, do you tell her all of the details as it happened?
Yeah, it seems like Hertha wants to know the facts of the situation, and Nanna will describe the facts of the situation as well as she can without being too morbid.
Okay. Roll insight.
Okay. Well, not rolling super great right out of the gate, but that's okay. That's a 9.
Okay. She's not trying to hide this, so you get the basis of it.
Mm-hmm.
She's angry. There was a sadness when you spoke to your mother and an understanding. When you speak to Hertha, she is angry. But she's not yelling or like, storming off, but there's a seething underneath while you speak to her. And she listens quietly. All right. Thank you for telling me. I don't have any more questions on the matter, and it is what it is. There's something else I would like to move on to as well. I think we're about to enter very divided times. And I think if there is any infighting, we are going to have a problem. I think exchange of power between you and I. You and I would be the only ones who would more than likely be in the running to take Ave's place. And I want to tell you, matter of factly, it should be me.
Absolutely. I believe fully Ave would trust you implicitly with his position. I will stick by you as loyally and as dependably as I would by him.
Thank you. I've basically been doing it for years. You think Ave's been able to run this place doing his side projects?
Of course not. I always did wonder how he got it all done, but...
He certainly didn't. He's just a man. Everybody talks about him like he is something different, and he is just a man.
I would only say, why could he not have been both?
You watch her grit her teeth. Thank you for coming to speak with me, Nanna. I can only assume that the story you have told me is not going to be the story shared with other people.
Near as I can manage it. How much should I... What should I tell my mother?
I mean this kindly. Your mother's a bit of a gossip. But I think if you told her it had to stay silent, it could. When it comes to everyone else, you can't say you were in the valley, and you can't say he died weaponless. So whatever you make, I will support. But those two pieces have to stay out.
Yes. It's for the best.
A couple days ago, we received word of Herserson passing.
Yes.
We've sent something that way. With Ave's passing, I will be contacting the Jarl. I don't know what's going to happen next. It looks... 2 chiefs. To them in under a month. It's unsettling.
You're not wrong. I have to believe that what we've done, what we've sacrificed for, will make things better. If not, then what was it for?
What was it for? And you hear a rustle and a sob come from the other room. Sorry, 1 second. Erling! And Hertha walks out of the room. Would you go ahead and give me a perception check real quick?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
I mean, just twiddling my thumbs. Don't want to leave without saying goodbye. I'm not a mean guest,
I can't just walk out. That's rude.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just gone when she comes back. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, that's not how you do your sister-in-law. Yeah, no, of course not. That's a 15 perception.
Okay. So, in the house, it is just currently Hertha and Erling. The door to Ave's office is open, and you can see inside a good bit from where you're sitting. And you can see from the last time you saw it, that's the only time you can really compare it to, it looks very sparse. There, where it was a full bookshelf is no longer full. Where it was piles of papers, it is no longer such. And you can see that the desk almost looks immaculately clean, which it certainly was not. And you can see that laying on top of the desk is a piece of like silky fabric. And you can see that it is covering something. It's very faint, but it is just the slight outline of a thin book. But it is definitely different.
It's not the kind of intrusion that Nanna would do in her brother's house, in her sister-in-law's house. At least not without asking if she can go in, at least. So she'll wait for Hertha to come back from seeing to Erling in the other room, and when she comes back, then Nanna will ask.
Yeah, she would, after a moment, she's able to hush the baby, but does come back out with Erling, who is sort of in that like groggy starting to wake up phase and just looks very devastated about it. The fact that he is currently waking up.
That is, I
not,
feel that in my
certainly
soul.
not happy, but she comes over. Is there anything else? I'm glad you agreed so quickly to the chief issue. I wasn't sure how you would feel, but from what you have showed me from, before you left, I would say that was not something that you would reach for. But then again, after being gone 2 months, who knows who you are now?
Well, I can't say I'm exactly the same, but I swore to myself that I would only reach for the title of chief if I truly believed no one else who stood up to take the title would do. And you most certainly would more than do.
I truly appreciate that. I hate that my first soiree into having the title is going to make me look incredibly bad because we're about to have a terrible fucking winter. But we have allies and we should be okay. It's just going to be a rough one. It's going to be rough. Is there anything else?
I just wanted to look in his study. If that would be all right by you.
Sure. I'll go ahead and tell you it doesn't make any fucking sense.
You mean...
Nothing in there makes sense. He disposed of most of it before he left.
Huh.
He burned books and papers. And sure, you can look. You stand up and there's a knock at the door.
Ha. Shall I get it?
Sure, go ahead.
Nanna will go over to the door and kind of like compose herself a second and open the door. Yes, can I help you?
You see in front of you a woman probably in her 30s, nicely dressed, tight ponytail, like very intensely pulled back hair. Hi, I'm an associate of Eagle's. I'm here to talk about the contract. Could I come in?
Yes. Please, come inside. If
she walks in.
Be kind enough to wait here for just a moment. Let me just let the chief know.
She smiles. That would be great.
Nanna will step back to the other room and quietly let Hertha know the situation so that she's not caught on the back foot.
Okay. Would you have told her about the Eagle situation in your first descriptor, or is it now coming out that, oh, by the way?
No, this was something that she knew would need to be involved because this was something that had to happen as a result of, the whole trip.
Yeah. Okay. Hertha nods. She goes and puts Eagle back in the room. Erling. Oh no! Just all red baby.
Oh no!
I don't know what you're talking about. She goes and puts Erling back in the room and then comes back out to the main area. Go ahead.
Nanna will invite the Associate of Eagles in to the sitting room area, and I'm afraid I did not get your name.
You can call me Deb.
Deb. Excellent to make your acquaintance. I don't believe we met. I am Nanna Hemming's daughter.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nanna. I was given vague descriptions of everyone. So sadly, some of your companions not very forthright with your location, which, good or bad, you can take as is. I am here under request of Eagle that I have a certain amount of alterations I can do to the contract. There is a point where I cannot edit it anymore. So if there are large issues, I can fix those, but it becomes a point where it is too much. I'll tell you if we get close.
Fair enough.
Hopefully I was not too intrusive. Eagle was a bit vague with how long I should wait until I came to see you. The phrasing was, wait until after the funeral when you wouldn't mind being woken up if you had a hangover. And I can't say it's very straightforward. Hopefully you're all right.
I believe we will manage well enough. Yes, thank you.
That's great. Nanna, would there be any alterations or clarifications you would ask about besides Hertha, who talks about Eagle getting to veto any law he wants to? Which it seems that Deb already had a backup for that one, and it is that the laws could come into place, but then Eagle or an associate could step in and be like, I think the law is detrimental to us in this way. A discussion could be had, and then the law could be changed if necessary. And then if it comes down to, brass tacks, it could end up breaking the contract if you're like, no, we're keeping this law exactly as written. So there is now sort of you can put it into place, but there will be feedback and it could end up affecting the contract later.
I see. All right. So more or less, as far as Nanna can tell, the majority of the contract seems to be pretty good outside of that. Just kind of looking back over the notes for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not your specialty.
No, definitely not.
You get the gist of things, but you can see, after especially talking with Saga, who was able to point out, look how carefully this sentence is worded.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have Hertha roll intelligence.
Oh, please, let her do good.
Okay. The fact that Hertha did jump on that first rule very quickly shows that she has at least some understanding of what is being said here and that he can't have that much power.
Yeah.
But it was something Deb didn't even refute. Wasn't even any pushback on that.
All right. Okay. I suppose Nanna would want to know if there was an occasion where law enforcement may happen to hinder the work legally provided for Eagle to do without an intent to do that. Is that still a hardline infraction, or can that be discussed?
The issue could be rectified as long as none of Eagle's men are killed. Usually it is something that can be fixed with a quick conversation from the chief. Also, sometimes a chief may see fit to inform at least a high-ranking police official. But everything that happens inside of Gullundr will be legal.
All right. I mean, really outside of that, I'm sure, there's going to be hard percentages that are agreed upon as far as the profits earned by the business in the town, but we don't need that! I don't need numbers! I have enough on my character sheet!
It's It's a fair amount though. It's not like 5%, it's more like 30% of profits. Like it's a higher number. You don't know exactly what those profits are from, but they are profits nonetheless.
They claim to be legal.
Inside of Gullundr, yes.
Inside of Gullundr, yes. Yeah. I mean, in fairness, we do trade with other towns where things that I wouldn't have thought were legal are legal, so that's already been a burnt bridge. I don't think Nanna would bring anything else up in reference to specifics within the contract. I think she feels like Hertha has a good handle on the situation, and Nanna really just doesn't have very much else to contribute to it.
All right. Chief, if you'd be so kind as to sign the contract, I will sign that I have witnessed the contract signing, and then I will get it sent out right away, and you can consider Eagle an ally to Gullundr.
Excellent.
Hertha reads over it again one more time. And she signs the contract. Thank you very much. The woman reaches over and also signs the contract. If that's all, I'll be on my way. Eagle outsources most of his building contract work. So hopefully he'll beat them here. But if not, you're always welcome to ask them if you need assistance with anything.
Very well.
Thank you for your time. Truly appreciated. And she turns and walks out, tosses the contract into the air, and it is gone. Roshan is outside after having been staring at just a place of grass for an extended period of time. Gorbjorn is rolling off into the distance, having gotten bored with the conversation and understanding maybe 20% of it. Full roll. She acknowledges Roshan, and then Deb continues on her way back out of town as quickly as she came. Now we widen the scope. We are now caught up to where we left off last time. Is there anything anybody wanted to do before some big magical hullabaloo happens later?
Nanna does want to kind of check in with the other members of the party. She kind of ghosted on everybody after the funeral, and that will come after she speaks with her mother. But that's something in Nanna's queue to do specifically today, just to make sure that everybody's all right.
I will say you're also welcome to look in Ave's study. I will say you also did see Roshan and Gorbjorn.
That is true. The study, yes, first, because I don't want to forget that, because I know I will. So I would like to check that out real quick first, and then onwards.
Okay. Are you going in alone?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say you step into the office, and I'm going to then pivot out back to the rest of the party real fast. There is team getting some drink and preparing it and dragging it over for a party. And there's also team, we went to go pick flowers.
Picking flowers.
Team, pick some flowers. So anything of note, any conversations or things you guys want to do specifically?
Saga, has Lady Saidr a favorite flower? Is there anything she prefers?
Oh, wait, well, you know, I've never asked. I could ask, maybe.
I'm just wondering if there's something we should be searching for. Given the conditions, I'm assuming that what we'll find will be weeds, will be thistle and dandelion and weeds. But if there's something we should seek specifically on behalf of Lady Saidr, then maybe we should look for that, and I'd love to help with that.
The flowers weren't for Lady Satyr. They were for Roshan's ritual.
I understand, but we're doing Lady Saidr's will, are we not?
Well, I mean, sort of, yeah. Like everything is kind of her will in the end, because it's all following the prophecy.
And shouldn't we do
Well,
this
well,
the
you know
way that
what?
would satisfy her the most?
Following that logic, anything that we get will be the thing we were supposed to get because it'll be a part of the prophecy. So whatever we do end up having was meant to be that we had. So I think that as long as we just get the flowers, I think that the prophecy is fulfilled.
That's very interesting. Do you remember back in like episode 2 when I talked to you about the Sharpshooter Fallacy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm
Recall
glad we talked
exactly
about.
episode 2. That's why it stays as well.
Yes, you said that if you shoot an arrow, if it was meant to be shot and if it hits and all that. And
Yes,
it was. Yes.
All right, very well. I'm glad to accompany you and help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Saga. I follow your guidance and I offer my own.
Thank you. I might as well ask Lady Saidr later, though. I plan on having a few conversations with her. We have some talking to do, because I have some plans I'll be probably doing in the next little while if we have enough time. But I'll ask then.
Is there some way you can help me grow closer
But what? Sorry,
to Lady Saidr?
the wind made your voice go away.
I'm sorry. Is my audio all right?
It is, yes. Now the wind is gone.
Is there some way you can help me grow closer to Lady Saidr?
Oh, well, you'll probably have an opportunity soon. I'm planning on building a temple for her. And then once the temple is built, I'm going to do some rituals, and then I'm going to see the next prophecy. And if you'd like to get one as well, you could possibly as well try.
I would love to assist with your temple building and aiding my manual labor to that, but unfortunately, I think the people of Gullundr are in for a harsh winter, and they're probably like to need more food than their crops are wont to yield. And I
Lady
think
Saidr doesn't do
my
anything.
skills might be better lent in a different direction, to help provide for our charges.
Well,
I would
then,
love to.
I
I would
mean,
love to learn more about Lady Saidr, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure that lifting bricks is the best way I can.
sounds like you're just trying to get out of the actual work that's required to, like, be a part of the church, you know?
It sounds to me like you're actually trying to get out of the work of helping people.
I am helping people by following my Lady Satyr and building her temple and getting more people to know her. And then once they know her, they will get their prophecies and have better direction in life.
I'm curious as to how many calories, I'm sorry, how much nourishment the temple that you build will put in the bellies of the people of Gullundr.
Well, why would they eat a temple? That is just silly fit.
That is silly, and these people need to eat. Their crops have not grown, Saga. And
I
Saga,
can't help that.
when spring comes, and these people are fed, and we see ourselves to the other side, I will help you build the temple to your Lady Saidr, but I cannot help now.
Well, that's probably too late. But I really appreciate the offer, sort of offer.
And that's entirely understandable.
Yeah. Well, I'll let her know that you're interested. Maybe we can find something later when you have more time to dedicate to a god.
And let's spend our time now finding these flowers that Roshan needs.
Yes. You know what? Seeing as it's a part of the prophecy, it's probably a bit towards it. I think
Very
this is
well.
good work.
Glad to help in whatever small way I can.
Thank you.
Okay. The two of you talk deeply about religion very casually, and then go and find some flowers. And by flowers, I do mean weeds that flower. Both of you can go ahead and roll perception for me, and maybe you'll find something a little nicer. I don't know.
Alrighty. 28. No, 18. 18, not 28.
Those
My gosh.
those are very different numbers.
I
23.
added 10 to my numbers somehow.
23.
Wow. That was
Yeah,
better than me.
I would say that like Saga, you're able to find like the occasional like that's a good flower right there, and then Fenn's like, what about these? And actually finds like an actual like kind of just like a birth of flowers, where it's like, oh rad, these now all belong to me and my ritual. So
That
you
tracks.
all ravage the land and take the last flowers of fall before they would
You made
certainly
this
die.
such a dark turn.
You guys take all the flowers.
How much, what kind of role would I need to make a flower crown for everyone that's going to be a part of the ritual?
I just went deep into the void about flower crowns.
Yeah, that was...
Sorry, I had flashbacks. I had to make a flower crown before, was not my favorite thing to do. What a nightmare.
Oh, God, what do I have to roll? A death saving throw? What the hell?
To go through my trauma.
Okay.
I would say that the thing is, I feel like this is something Saga's done before,
Mhm.
and there is going to be some time before the ritual. I would hesitate to say that you may not even have to roll anything. You just have time. You can just make flower crown if you so
Wow.
please.
I do please.
it please, yes.
You're so crafty.
You're just like, I got it. Give me a minute. What else does she do on the road for 3 years by herself? Not make 10,000 flower crowns? I have a bag full of 70 necklaces and 3,000 flower crowns.
Yes, all Lady Saidr symbols somehow.
Somehow they all are.
She would be the kind to figure out how to make that work.
I invented a new weave.
Yeah, it would be doable. Definitely,
Mhm.
just because her design's just a bunch of X's. But you make your way back. That means you have time to sit down. And on the way, you could start, but you can set up and start making everybody a nice flower crown for the ritual around the statue of the screaming monarch of Gullundr. I'm going to pivot over to Roshan real quick. Roshan, you can see Nanna is in Hertha's house. You don't have to do anything with this. You just know where she is currently.
Yeah, I think Roshan is kind of one-track mind and just gathers things for the ritual tonight.
Okay. Tordrek, are you just going to make sure that you go pick up the drinks and sandwiches and whatnot after your excursion by the river and prepare for the ritual?
Yes, after the prayers to the different sisters for different things. Absolutely.
All right. Gorbjorn, anything in particular besides continuing your mission to fill the pockets of the people?
It's kind of an impossible mission.
I was gonna say, like, I'll probably lose like 10 copper right here, just like giving it to random people.
Yeah, you keep it up, and you almost start to feel maybe a little stealthier, trying to get like figuring out what makes the most sense. Like if I roll in front of them, they see me, and making little mental notes about that. I can't roll in front of them. Understood. Behind bush. If bush is present, can hide behind it. Then I am going to go back to Nanna before the ritual starts.
Ooh.
Nanna, you enter Ave's office. What would you like to do?
Well, Nana would like to kind of just take a look around the office and just sort of make her way around to the other side of the desk, but she's kind of just looking around, clocking the spots where she knew Ave would stand, looking up a certain book on the bookshelf, or the mark that he's worn into the handle on one of the drawers in his desk from bashing it against his chair as he's been opening it. Just kind of like drinking in these small mementos of where he was, and kind of like squaring the memory with what it looks like now, knowing that Ave cleared out all of that himself before they left. Trying to contend with what that might mean.
I will say, as you take a look around, now that you've entered the room, you have a bit of a better view of everything. When you look at the shelves, you can see that the books present, these ones, it's like, oh yeah, I know these books. They're not so different than the ones that would be where the elders keep what is learned for people who are studying. And you know that Ave had some more private books that he kept. You don't see that. Those are no longer present. You see that rectangular shape under the fabric, and you also see it looks like a wooden rectangle, like a mail cubby. And when you go over and look at it, go ahead and roll Arcana for me. I know that's not your deal, but let's see if your brain's working.
We'll see if my brain's working.
Is the brain working?
Well, it might just be, by golly, by gum, if my mouse would work. Let me find out. Arcana? Yeah, that is actually a dirty 20.
Wow. Brain and hyperdrive. The thing
just
is,
all jazzed up on knowledge from reading over that contract.
I mean, I will say, like, comparatively, your dirty 20 compared to, like, Roshan's dirty 20 on this are going to be completely different things. Because, once again, it's like, this is magic garbage, and I don't understand it, but I can guess from the few moments of schooling that you took.
Reluctantly.
When you look at this, you think it's some sort of mail cubby. And you look at it and you can see that carved into the wood are different types of runes. And you can see inside of it that there is an envelope, a letter just casually sitting on it. And you can see written sort of at the back of the cubby is Dagwood.
Huh. What?
Just Nanna squinting at it. Brain thinking.
All right. Well, Nanna will. Okay. Now, it might have been that my audio glitched.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded to me like you said that Dagwood was at the back of the cubby, which sounds buck wild.
It's let me fix that for you slightly.
Appreciate
the name
it.
Dagwood, the letters.
Aha.
Spelling Dagwood, not a tiny Dagwood just chilling in the back.
That or like a window to her house, which like would not be a huge leap for a sorcerer to have.
What just a tiny little Dagwood in the back, just like sipping tea, like hello.
Yeah. Okay, that was a wild mental image for me. I'm glad to have figured that out. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me add on a little bit for you. It words, not person.
It word. Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Okay, so, interesting. Nanna will, I guess, gingerly sort of pull out the envelope that has the letter sitting on it inside the little mail cubby and kind of give it a little brief glance over and see what it is.
Okay, you can see that it is a small scrap of paper inside of the envelope, and you can see that it did have some sort of sealing on it, but the seal is broken.
Okay. Can
So
I kind of figure out what sort of shape the seal is? Does it look familiar?
it is a blank wax seal.
Okay.
And you'd like to look at the letter?
Yeah.
Okay. I will read it to you. You can see that it does not start like a normal letter. It just seems like the middle of a conversation. It says, I am not often unsettled, but I will do what is asked of me. I do not enjoy questioning your judgment, but how I feel doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, does it? If by chance someone else is reading this, then I am truly sorry. Dagwood.
Nanna will fold the letter back up and slide it back into the mail cubby and kind of take a look at the cloth on the table. Is it just a plain cloth cover? Is it embroidered at all?
Nope, it is just a piece of fabric just covering the table. Not even the whole desk. It's just mostly covering part of the top and this book.
Nanna will gingerly slide the book out from under the table square, I guess, and give it a look-see. The doily. Mm-hmm.
It is a reddish colored leather bound book, more in the sense of possibly a journal. There is no markings or writing on the outside.
Does it look like any book I've seen Ave carrying around or looking for or writing in or reading from?
Roll a d20.
D20 say 19.
You have seen it before, but it is not something Ave casually walked around with.
Okay. Nanna will gingerly sort of crack open the front cover, kind of see if it has a front page or anything like that.
You can see written on the front page, it looks hastily written. My love, if you are reading this, burn this book. And you can hear Hertha kind of clear her throat behind you.
Okay. Nanna will look up and nod to Hertha. I mean, did she come up behind me? She's in the room, or is she
in the doorway?
She's in the doorway? Okay. Well, I mean, would she have been able to see me, like, with the book open from the doorway?
She could see that you're holding something.
Okay.
She looks to you. I've looked at it. I've also looked at the letter. I don't know what to do. He asks small favors and you don't know what they mean. And maybe I'm sick of it.
I can understand that.
I have no intention of burning it. I don't know what's in it. I can't read it.
Do you mind if I try?
You are certainly welcome to.
Would it be all right if I took it to my house and looked it over later?
I would prefer if it did not leave the house at this time.
All right. I can do that. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to at least give it a glance. And if it seems to be something more than what I can glean at a glance, if I may come back later, I would very much appreciate it.
Of course, this is me being as polite as I can be. I will be shocked if you understand what's in that book. I truly will be. But feel free to look.
Thank you. Nanna will kind of crack open the book and leaf past the hastily scrawled note on the front page. What does she see?
You fully understand what Hertha was saying to you because it barely looks like words. It is something you rolled very well on your Arcana check, so I'll just lean into that. It looks like the whole entire book, besides that first note, is coded. The whole thing is written in a code. Nothing in it is just a simple word in common. But there is the occasional sketch in the book as well. Quickly thumbing through it.
Sketches of what?
Go ahead and roll me perception.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. 23.
There are multiple things. Some things you don't understand. You recognize something that you think could be the statue of Golveg. You see something that looks like little circular orbs with runic drawings on them. You also see a self-portrait. You see, these are all on separate pages. This is all just like you flipping through rapidly.
And they seem to be like aligned with different blocks of coded notes. You can see
that it looks like there's like little lines pointing at different things, just none of it is legible to you. And as you're scrolling through, you also see that there is a sketch of Frona, Roshan's mother, and it has multiple notes written around it. And as you continue, the one that stands out to you the most out of all of the weird drawings in here is a very familiar spear. You are looking at a drawing of the spear that killed Ave. It is labeled. There's a note above it. You can see that there's question marks, but you can't read any of it.
Hertha?
Yes?
This spear. Nanna will point to the picture in the book. This is what killed him. This is it. I would swear to it.
What am I supposed to take from that?
I don't know any clearer than you do, but if you would trust me, and if you would trust perhaps Roshan, perhaps one or two others from among the party, to look this over, we might have some answers. if you're willing.
You can see that seething anger has returned. You know, honestly, you can do whatever you want to do. You could burn the room to the ground. Whatever you see fit. Because I can't. So that's that. Do whatever you want. But I am tired of him.
I can understand that. I can very well understand that.
I would appreciate if you left for right now.
I will. Thank you for your time, Hertha. Nanna will leave.
You just, as you're leaving, you can see she just sort of stands there in the same place and doesn't really move. And then the door closes behind you. And in a little bit, it's going to be time for a ritual.
That Nanna knows next to nothing about unless one of y'all told her about it when I wasn't here.
I think somebody was just like, we're having a ritual. Bye, nerd, you got spears. And that's where the spear shed came from.
I heard about the spear shed.
Yeah, so Roshan basically told you about it vaguely. He told you that there were the pearls on the statue, but you were in a big hurry. So you didn't get to hear details about that. But for right now, that is where we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a nice 10-minute break, and we're going to jump into that ritual and get everybody going and do some fun religious stuff. You know, everybody loves a good religious moment in D&D. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Be right back. Go get a snack.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods, episode 42. We just did a recap of sort of filling in the blanks of things that happened last session. Nanna found Ave's notebook, which is full of words that make no sense and drawings that kind of make less sense, including a drawing that looks very similar to the spear that struck Ave down. Hertha then requests that you leave after seeming to become just more and more distraught, and then sort of stands quietly as you leave. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Roshan because it might be time for a ritual. Tell me about this here ritual. What else needs to be done? What's happening? Tell me about it.
So, Roshan has entrusted 2 of his companions to gather some ingredients, but he has gathered, he went to Nanna's shed and got 3 of her extra spears. He also gathered firewood, enough to keep that going for the whole 24 hours and probably beyond. And he's also gathered a bunch of sticks, and he has gathered that, and it is waiting for people to show up at sundown.
I think you would be greeted by Saga, who's been sitting there with like a huge pile of weeds and flowers, who's currently making flower crowns.
Oh, I got string too at some point.
Yeah, Fen gave up some string that he's like, I haven't been able to use my string except to break expensive vases. It's all I've been able to do. So yeah, you have string and flowers. And Tordrek, you are there with mead, I believe specifically, and sandwiches that Frona made, because y'all are big babies who are about to be on a ritual for a very long time.
So Roshan gathers his 2 companions and says, so our first order of business is to convert these spears into brooms, and that's what I've brought these sticks for. We're going to spend about the next 8 hours ritually cleansing the space with our spears, our brooms, and
Brooms. Continue.
And Saga, I think it would be nice if you could share some of your light, some of those dancing jellyfish. Could we trap them in the ends of the brooms and use them to light the area as we are sweeping it out?
Yes, absolutely. I'll prepare them.
All right.
She'll cast dancing lights.
So for probably the next hour, they spend making brooms that are lit up with these spears. And then for the next 7 hours, late into the evening and early morning, they continuously hand off these spears and sweep out the area and ritually cleanse it.
What a nightmare. I do not envy y'all at all.
So many pieces of dirt on the ground, so many pieces.
Saga's sobbing, like about 5 hours into sobbing and sweeping.
Yeah. Y'all need to like tag out or something.
Yeah, if anyone shows up during the time, they are welcome to take a broom and take a small shift in this.
Saga throws the broom at Nanna and just falls to the ground.
Oh,
Sweep!
no. All right, just regular sweeping, I guess. So are we going counterclockwise or?
Any which way matter. It doesn't matter. And then the second portion of the ritual, we take all of the twine and dried flowers, and we basically wrap up the statue of Gulveg like a maypole, and we wrap the twine, so it's basically covered head to toe in twine and dried flower, or not dried flowers, but flowers. All the while there's a campfire burning, and I'm sure Tordrick is leading us in song this whole time, and
Naturally.
He has limitless energy.
Yes.
Tordrick's unstoppable. He may have stayed up all last night, but he'll do it again.
If there's a party to be had, you better believe he'll be heading it up.
For sure.
Just a different type of party.
Ritual.
Yeah,
party.
he'll have to be watched because he'll try to get others involved that are walking by and looking. Oh, you want to help? It's a great cleansing.
Yeah. Occasionally, Tordrick's like points out a person and they feel so on the spot. They're like, yeah, okay. And some people just pretend not to hear and keep walking, but you've gathered a crowd occasionally just of people coming to look.
Yeah.
And occasionally you can, Tordrick, you're able to get a person to like take the broom, so you can just take a moment. And yeah, you guys get through some brooming.
Yeah, so the brooming was the first 8 hours. The second 8 hours is wrapping up Gullveg's statue like a present with flowers and twine, and we put the flower crown on top of Gullveg's head at the end of that.
Stack of them.
Yeah.
15 flower crowns, just straight up.
And that takes the second 8 hours. So it is about noon the next day. And then comes the nice, relaxing, easy part that still takes 8 hours. But starting at noon the next day is when Roshan told everyone to show up and be prepared to tell stories. And for the last 8 hours of the ritual, we just tell stories in Gullveg's presence, and the stories have to contain some kind of element of Gullveg's domains, which are light, magic, and gold. And so we spend an entire day just, what was left of the day, singing praises of Gullveg through these stories. And the best part about the storytelling is that the stories don't have to be true. They can be completely 100% made up on the spot, which makes things a lot easier because then we can tell stories about going into the valley while not actually telling the truth about it.
So this is a made-up story. Doesn't matter if it sounds like it was us and makes up the timelines. It wasn't.
We whooped into Valhalla, bitches.
Yeah, you just don't say the valley. You just say Valhalla the whole time. You're like, yeah. So
Yes.
when we Valhalla,
We traveled to Valhalla.
So there
We
was
traveled
this house
in-
on stilts, and I was
Yeah.
hundreds of feet away.
wow.
And I would like to think by the end of the day, it is about twilight again as we're finishing this Hallow ritual. And we take the same 3 spears that we had used as brooms to clean out the area, and we all 3 of us put them into the fire at the same time and light the broom portion on fire. And then Roshan says a final prayer. Gullveg, I invoke your name times 4. I'm begging of you, please protect our land. Gullveg, 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 Gullveg. Please protect us just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flames that lick your ivory hair. Those spears have pierced, you have ended plague. Your smile is an enchantment. Your spells can summon storm and rain, and we cannot compete with you, Gullveg. We hear your name within our dreams, the flames that burn, we hear your screams. We cry and we call your name, Gullveg. And we can't easily understand the grand designs that you have planned, but we follow you as best we can, Gullveg. Gullveg, 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 Gullveg.
Gullveg, Gullveg, Gullveg.
And then With our flaming broom spears, we light the statue on fire.
This is the best Halloween ritual ever!
And
I quit
think
the show.
It's been great, guys.
Bye, Kyle.
the way I envision it then is that Gullveig is kind of like a beautiful butterfly coming out of a cocoon of flaming twine and flowers, reborn again.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have, especially because you told the elders about this event, some of the word was able to get out. During this time, the Gothy actually, because this is the elders' jam. Sometimes we get to tell stories about Gullveig. I can do that. And during that time, also the story of Gullveig is told about how she was captured by like gods. She was challenged by gods, and they struck her with spears and then burned her body thrice, and she came back even better, bitch. Unkillable. She's a bad bitch. And
that's my queen, bitch.
And that was the birth of magic, was her dying 3 times, came into existence. And everyone's like, ooh, and some people have been like, they've been out here for hours. I swear they were sleeping for like 8 hours. But then the statue is engulfed after a beautiful rendition of Gullveig. And
classic hymn.
The classic hymn Gullveig.
Penned by Saint Dolly Parton.
Saint Dolly Parton of Gullveig.
Praise be. She is engulfed in flame, which quickly eats through the twine and the flowers, and burning live foliage makes a darker smoke, and you watch as it just billows up into the sky, and it goes up and up, and then pivots at the sides, almost as if it had made an enclosure, an encampment, a rounded roof. And the smoke gently dissipates at the spots, but you can see that you have created some sort of space here. People cheer. They're just excited to watch the statue be on fire because that's their thing.
We are a simple people in Gullundr. We see a statue of a lady set on fire with spears through her. We clap.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, that's what we like. Anything else? As you can feel the area being supercharged.
I think at that point, the group of us are probably slap happy, tired, ready to either drink or go to bed or both.
Both!
Given any excuse to drink, I am sure plenty of people would love to participate. You guys have finished off all of your sandwiches at least.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the Sammies.
Is there anything else from Team Beautiful Ritual? Besides, you guys are going to get maybe a little turnt and then pass out somewhere?
Yep.
Stay, Roshan. What the fuck did we just do?
I don't even know.
What? You would... I need to speak with you. I need to speak with you. I want to... We just do it. We did the sweeping for 8 hours. 8 hours?
I didn't realize. I'm looking now at the statue of Gullveig. I didn't realize she was so buxom.
Weird. Her hair is so large.
I want to sneak a Lady Saidr symbol onto Gullveig, please.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
Right in
can.
front of everybody.
I mean, I'll go ahead and just say this.
I've been awake for 24 hours.
Blaspheming out of there. Go ahead.
24 hours. Saga will absolutely do this.
All right.
Well, let's put the sacrilege on the table.
So I'll go ahead and address that just real quick. So the thing about everybody here and their gods is that everybody's very aware that there are other gods. So people bringing in their gods is not the strangest thing. Like when you're in Gullundr, it's a statue of Gullveig. That's what you get. But it would not be as like sacrilegious if you're like, and Lady Saidr, and they're like, oh, more gods. All right. As long
more gods, more party.
As long as they're alive. But you said you want to sneak it. So I'm going to just go ahead and roll either stealth or sleight of hand and just see if everybody watches you put a cute necklace on it or not.
Can I help her and like body block her?
Oh yeah. Yeah, go
ahead. Dodge rolls her up to the statue.
Have advantage, Saga.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, you said sleight of hand or
stealth.
Okay. I'll be using stealth. Wow, that's amazing. I rolled 2 3s.
That's not what I was expecting you to say, but
it's an 8 if we add my stealth.
Yeah, I mean, Gorbjorn, you're like, I know what to do. And as you stand sort of big and slowly inch towards the side, it's pretty noticeable as a hand reaches out behind you and just casually like sets it on one of like the curved stone flames on like Gullveig, just like, there we go.
I'd probably use Gorbjorn as like a ladder to get higher up.
Climb on top of him and
aha, nobody can see me up here. They're all looking down there.
Yeah, if I'm up here, then fools. It's been 24 hours. Saga's delirious, and she's like, I've done it. Who would even know? Yeah, you were able to get that on there before the thing goes up in flames to be part of the ritual. It is another night of festivities, which everybody's super into because that's what they like to do. It feels like a continuation of the funeral to them and just something a bit more lighthearted and something to kind of pick up the spirits. And everybody is really into that right now. So they're happy to be part of it. But you can see that you have certainly done something to the land here. You don't know exactly how long it'll last or what it exactly does, but it did something. You just don't know yet.
Mystery.
You gotta love a good mystery.
Using my wolf eyes, do I just see only the statue glowing, or like what is happening?
Okay, you activate the eyes. The statue is fully illuminated, and you can sort of see like, because it's mostly out of range, but you can see like the slight glisten of like an invisible wall sort of around the area, more like a dome. And you can see that. Also, because it is what it is, you can see instantly when you look at Saga, her eyes are that like deep, dark purple and glitter that leaks from her eyes. And you look at Roshan, you don't see the thing there. It's not there currently. You're like, got it.
Not keen for ceremonies.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's been so long. The shadow goes to take a nap. It's like, too long. Am done. So with this beautiful ritual, as smoke sails off into the sky and the people sing and they dance and they continue to tell stories, not just because, the ritual is over, but they want to continue. And people continue to have a good time. A lot of people passed out in the square the next day. If that is everything for the ritual, I am going to ask that we are about to slip into our downtime. And the first thing I'm going to ask for is people who have downtime activities that involve other party members. Because some people might have things they're doing, and if you don't catch them, it might be too late. So, Nanna, you can go ahead. Quick on the draw.
Well, before too many people go wandering too far away from Gullundr, Nanna wants to find a moment to get the party together so that she can tell them about what she saw in the journal in Ave's study, and try and figure out who among them might have any recognition of any of the stuff that I saw pictures of, and if anybody knows how to crack a ridiculous eye-bending code.
And that is phrased to the people.
Roshan would like to try.
Roshan's already invested.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
While
Would-
everybody's crowding around the book, I want to slip everybody 2 gold pieces.
Well, the book
Thank you so
is
much.
in-
I'm so fucking broke.
The book is in Hertha's house. It's in Ave's study. It didn't seem to me like Hertha was saying, "Here, no, go ahead, forget what I said
Well, I
earlier,
thought she
take the
said,
book."
fine, do whatever you want. So I assumed that was, okay, take the book.
Lena, please clarify then for me. Where book?
Gorbjorn, while they're all talking, and kind of round it around, Nanna, you could go ahead and give me a sleight of hand roll.
Oh, wow. Natural 19. So that's,
Oh, yeah.
new.
He's been working on it.
Easy peasy. All of you have 2 gold. Gorbjorn, it's so easy. They don't even know, the fools. They have no idea.
Little do they know.
Little do they know they have more money.
How devious.
Who is going to be part of team Go Look at the Book? Saga's like, I don't know if I like team Go Look at the Book.
I don't think I'd be very helpful.
I'm Fen is team stick real close to Nanna. That's what Fen is doing. He may not have anything to add to, gonna look with Nanna.
Okay. Anybody else besides the team of Nanna, Roshan, and Fen?
I don't know if Tordrick had an opportunity to share the description of the pearls that he saw with Nanna.
The thing is, Roshan now has them, and he started to tell you about them, so you know that they exist.
Okay, I see. Okay, all right. I have connected all of the dots successfully.
I'm now here.
Hooray! Okay. Anybody else is welcome to come along. Although perhaps Hertha would be less bothered by a smaller gathering.
12 people. Kick open the door.
That's what target. Bring in the army.
Okay. Team Nanna, Roshan, and Fen go to Hertha's place. She lets you in, and she's like, go ahead. I'm going to be with Erling. And she goes to the room where the baby is. And you guys have free reign of Ave's office, which is all of you can see at least the exterior things I described. So Roshan, you do see that cubby that has the little letter in it and has Dagwood written at the back.
Could I attempt to understand how that works?
Sure, go ahead and roll me Arcana with advantage.
I was wondering.
21.
You look over it, and you know what this spell is because you've done some research into this spell. It is crazy the amount of extra put on top of it to make it do this physically, but this is like the sending spell on steroids. It's sending the physical letter with words on it. Just, you think it goes back and forth.
All right.
There you go.
Eventually, he'd like to write a letter to Dagwood.
Okay.
And then I suppose we would spend the rest of the time trying to decode the book or spending time.
I would say that I think only Roshan of this group has an actual chance of possibly translating. Roshan, you look at it,
Can we try to help? I don't know what we can do.
not really. I am giving him advantage, but
Okay.
you can either roll intelligence or arcana. Doesn't mean you're going to crack this code, but you can start.
17.
Find E first.
17.
17.
Not a bad start.
I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a choice between being able to possibly understand some things about around the drawing of the statue of Gullveig, or about the pearls.
I was hoping you would say his mom, but
sadly, I would have liked a 20 for that.
yeah, that's fair. Let's learn about the pearls.
Okay. So what you were able to gather from this, it's a bit of an add-on to what you were able to see, which is that each pearl seems to have a job. And that when they are all together, they are able to do these jobs more efficiently. You do read something about consuming them. So you do know that Ave ate these, which means that he would have had to have done this like the day that he died, or at least like maybe the day before. The things on it, there is a type of containment. So there is something that's part of it that holds in. There is a part of it that repels. And then there is a part of it that amplifies. Those are the 3 goals of these pearls.
He'll share that with his friends.
Okay, well, were they for... What were they amplifying? Or repelling? Or... What were these meant to be acting on? Can we tell?
I don't know what they were amplifying, but I think they were meant to contain perhaps Gullveig's power in Ave, and I think probably to repel corruption.
To contain a god.
No, he was Gullveig touched.
I understand. I've heard many times, and it didn't help. I unfortunately must say. But what does it mean that they were meant to contain Gullveig?
What if it was meant to contain her power, prevent it from escaping from Ave's body on his death?
That's what I think.
What if they contain little toy inside?
Gorbjorn shouts from the window.
But what if toys? Like he's like a little Happy Meal, but a very confusing magical Happy.
I was thinking of like this
like Kinder eggs.
Yeah.
We'll pencil that one in on the margin. Thank you, Gorbjorn.
That's why the US doesn't allow those.
They're like, stop it. Stop eating all of the magical pearls inside. Those aren't for you.
Those are banned in the orc countries.
Oh my god.
No
Joking
Kinder
hazard.
eggs in Orkland.
Arkansas.
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 Oklahoma.
Why is Arkansas and not Arkansas?
Arkansas. Welcome to Arkansas. Okay. I'm writing that down as a tavern name for something later. Anyway.
Hell yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas. Just for me later.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anything else?
Nanna would kind of draw the other two's attention to the spear sketch on one of the pages. If it hasn't been poured over yet, she just wants to confirm this is what we saw the man with the golden mask stab Ave with, right? This is that same spear?
I'll never forget that spear.
As best as you guys can tell, it's pretty close. Nanna, you're actually the only person who got to see it up close.
Oh.
So you can see the details upon it and can recognize some of them, but he put it away when you came over because he said it. I'm probably not quoting myself correctly, but I believe he said, this is special, and then put it away, basically, not for you. Before he put you in the snow.
Yeah, a couple times, I remember.
I recall, yes, I was in the
yes,
snow.
I was there, bleeding out, yes.
Nanna, can you retain that image? So can we show that to people? And...
No, not for right now.
What do you mean not for right now? We must find him.
Yes, I know. However, I don't think we're going to find him by asking anyone inside this village.
I'm not sure we will either, but that's why I'm asking you to steal away with that image and keep it with us so we can ask upon the road.
I can make a copy. I'm not going to take any part of this book from here. It's going to stay.
It's your brother's book. It belongs with you. Wherever you go, it should go.
That's not my decision. For right now, this book contains very sensitive information. Ave would not have put all of this in code like this if it was not direly important to keep its contents secret.
The more reason it should stay with you. If people come seeking after it here, who's to defend it? But if people come seeking after the book and it's with you, there's a chance we can defend it.
My sister-in-law asked me to leave this book in her husband's study.
Is your sister-in-law the chief?
Yes, she is, Fen.
Your sister-in-law is the chief and not you. Lady Nanna Hemmingsdottir.
It has never been my ambition to be chief, Fen.
I understand it hasn't, but it is your right and your duty.
It is only my right and my duty if there is no more fit person for the job.
And I can think of no more fit person for the job.
That is kind of you, Fen. But please understand me when I say this is not a matter to be weighed in upon by any but the Hemmings.
I understand. I do not belong to Gullundr. I'm not of this village. I just see more clearly than anyone that I've ever known. And from what I can tell, you should lead this.
Should there come a time, Fen, if I believe Gullundr is in danger, if I believe Ave would have me step in, I will.
very clearly intended for you to step in when you gave your word to him.
I gave
No.
my word to finish his quest that he started, knowing damn well that it would be illegal on so many fronts and would put us in danger.
To defend Gullundr. And who can defend Gullundr better than you? You led his body back here, and we did his ritual, and the intent was to protect this village, and he entrusted that to you.
Yes.
And all that you brought along.
I have done it, Fen. I've done what he asked, all right? I don't want the chief position, Fen. I don't want it.
And
I
what
never
will you
have.
I still follow you. What would you have me do?
I don't know what my family will need of me in the coming weeks. I don't know.
What will you need of me?
Stay close. Stay my friend.
I'll always be your friend, and I'll never be far. And Fen's gonna leave Hertha's house and leave.
Okay. Roshan and Nanna both stand in Ave's office. I believe Roshan's just casually in the back, just like focusing on the book, just like, I'll be right here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chill.
I kind of imagined him just like in the kitchen making some tea for everyone.
He's flipped out. He's like, I'll be over here.
Just gonna make some more tea.
Gonna make something to drink, okay?
Mm-hmm. Just be careful which tea you get out and when you serve Hertha.
People are welcome to, over this period of time, pore over the book. The most efficient of the three who were present would be Roshan, who actually also studied with Ave, and has maybe slightly more insight into magical texts.
And I mean, push come to shove, if Roshan can get the mail slot working, we might have possibly Dagwood as a resource to help us translate, if she's familiar with this code.
Not to put you on the spot, Roshan, would you know what you'd want to send Dagwood's way? Or would you like a moment to ponder?
Yeah, so Roshan would like any information she can scrounge up about sentient shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just asking for a friend. And then he would ask about the pearls and just see if she knew anything about them. He doesn't feel comfortable mailing passages of this journal because Ave wanted it burned after. So he might ask specific questions about how to translate some things, but that might be a fool's errand at long distance.
Okay. You do realize that, like, as you're doing this, you're like, okay, I have to somehow fit that into like 25 words, but you get the gist of it across. And you are able to send, when you put the letter inside, nothing happens, and then you just sort of push it to the back and it's gone. It just seems to just continue to be pushed ahead until it's out of your reach.
Nanna's like, is it back there?
I can't reach it anymore.
Both of you just looking. Oh, wow, magic's weird. Is there anybody else who wanted to do something that involved other people?
It's powered by magnets. How do they work?
As I told you before, Tordrick's he's going to do everything he can to try to head back to the coast.
Yeah.
But so he would look for Saga at that point. Probably closer to the next morning after all that stuff got done with the whole cleanup and such, the ritual.
Mhm.
Perhaps speaking to see if she was still interested in going and finding out what her plans were locally, to see if that would work out. If not, he's going to trek out there alone because he feels like he really needs to have some sanctuary and pray without anything taking his attention.
Well, Saga would like to build a temple as well and would happily help, but she would like to build hers in a place that she can get more traffic, because the congregation's not very large so far, so we need to bring in some more. So I may not go all the way out to the beach, but maybe if I start on the journey with Tordrick and maybe find a really nice bridge or like a path crossing where there's a lot of roads that looks like a trade post area, a good spot where I could like catch people.
Yeah. A good place where they can't get away.
Exactly.
Where I can corner them.
They can't avoid it.
Yeah. Saga, go ahead and roll me religion.
Oh. All right.
If I must.
It's so silly that religion's an intelligence skill, seeing as wisdom is the casting thing for it. Wow. Who decided that? Wow, okay. That was a natural 20 though.
Woo! Now here's
0,
the question.
so it's just 20.
Would you prefer a bridge or a crossroads?
A crossroads.
Okay. And you can certainly find one of those not incredibly far from Gullundr, if that is your intention. And you see that there are people currently making their way across.
Oh, well, excuse me.
People were just like, some guy is just in his cart. Yeah.
Have you, do you currently worship a god, and is it doing for you what you hope it could be doing? Because I happen to also have a god that is doing very well for me and could possibly also help you.
Go ahead and roll me persuasion.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage for that nat 20 on religion.
Thank you.
I'm so here for this.
What is this? I keep rolling doubles of the same freaking. Oh wait, no, that's it. Never mind. It's the 69.
Party hard.
Nice.
16.
16.
Yep.
This guy seems interested in your semi-culty spiel, but he's like, I got a moment and it sounds pretty nice and you seem nice. So he does stay and listen to you chat. Tordrick, you see Saga starting to be like, I found my spot. And Tordrick, your goal is to continue to the coast, to reconnect.
Yeah, but I'll wait. He will definitely let her know that he's moving on, and that when he gets done doing what he needs to do, he will absolutely give her some training that she asked for in the way of being a priest.
Perfect, thank you. If I finish up here before, I'll go look for you. Not sure if I'll find you, but I'll try. Either way, I'm sure we'll find some time.
Just ask the 9 sisters.
Oh, yes. And she'll pull out her little statue that you gave her. I'll ask her.
Follow the rivers. The rivers lead to the ocean. The ocean is the heart. The river's like the blood.
Okay. Blood, heart. That kind of sounds. Do you have another metaphor maybe that's not so gruesome?
That's the one that the sisters like.
Oh, okay. I'll try to not think about it in that way.
I'll show you when I come back. Or when you see me.
Okay. I'll collect some wood for my temple, I guess.
You're looking
Oh my
for wood.
god! Does she need some trade? She needs some help.
She like makes a lean-to. Like, I've done it, boys. God is pleased.
Yes.
Tordrek, you say your goodbyes and that you will meet again, and you continue to the coast. I would love if you have a description of how you'd like to pray, you're welcome to tell me. And/or I would like 3 religion checks, please. 3 individual religion checks.
Okay. He's gonna pray to Blagata and Bara and Hemingway and ask. He's basically, his quandary is that he feels that his dwarfness is like that he might be a better help to the party if he focuses back on what he was learning as a young man earlier in being a dwarf, which would be fighting and such, because he just feels like everyone's always at like the edge of dying, and and that's pretty tough to take. It's like he wants to be able to heal people much better, but he doesn't know if he has it in him. He's questioning that after the last few days of travel with the group. So that's really the question is where do they want him to go? Where does he need to go to be the best he can be for them and for the people that he helps protect? I'll go ahead and roll those 3 religion checks.
3 religion checks.
All right, let's see. A 12.
That was a spooky noise.
And a 22.
Ooh, okay.
Hey.
That's my I roll ice dice, so they have to melt for me to roll again. And then another 22.
2 22s.
Ooh, buddy! Bring it!
You pray by the water, and there is something so nice about being back by the ocean. You found a beautiful little spot, one of those kind of like alcoves of beach that's sort of kind of between like a risen area, and it's very private. And you are able to set up camp there and pray. You are able to, if you want to swim in the very cold water and be like one with the ocean, you are able to. And you were able to take time and reconnect. And one day, you've been here for a couple weeks now, just trying to see what they want from you, waiting for a message, waiting for direction. And you're kind of just floating in the water. And this happens occasionally where like one of those sneaky waves shows up and it kind of goes over you for a moment. That happens, and then time seems to extend where you are under this wave for an extended period of time, but it does not feel like drowning. It does not feel like, wow, I've been under here for many seconds. It's time is endless is almost the sensation. And you can feel presence around you. And you hear a soft voice in your head. You can hear murmurings of multiple voices. And then one speaks up a bit louder. This may not be what you want to hear, but we trust you so deeply. We trust your insight and what you see of the world. Our domain is the water, and we do not see what happens on land as clearly. We have armed you with the ability to protect your friends as best you can, and that can only grow, it cannot weaken. And we have also gifted you with a hero's weapon, a weapon to defend your friends and allies. There are many ways to keep people safe. And we love you, no matter which you choose. But there is strength in both. Gentle cheek kiss.
Tordrick will get back on his piece of wood that he's been floating on and sitting on and meditating and taking in the waves. And is there a feeling in that water in any direction that seems like he needs to go that way?
So there was once a feeling before when the sisters did lead you to your hammer that you found in the ocean.
Right.
It seems that based directionally, they want you to protect those who need protecting. And you know that your friends are inevitably going to move on to the next thing. They've been chilling down here, in town and doing what they need to do there, but you know that there are more steps to come, and you can see an expanse of road ahead of you, but you know that that road includes you and them.
Okay. He will take the wood that he has been floating on for the last couple of days, and just make a very simple, just like an altar that floats on top with some different shells and things that come from the sea that wash up on shore. And then he will begin to head back, knowing that he was given the answer that he seeked.
Okay, and just to give you this, add a +1 to your religion modifier. Yes. So now that's beefed up a little bit, as you connected very deeply with them and saw insight into their plan. And after setting up this piece of wood, you continue onwards to go back to your friends and continue your mission from them. Meanwhile, what are other people up to back in town? If there's somebody who has not spoken yet, I know, Gorbjorn, you're having a good time giving the people coppers and what have you. But anything else?
I wanted to check on my wolves. I know there was one that was, or a couple that were older, but with the changes of the nature and how it's being more corrupted, I'm sure there's a couple of wolves out there and it need to be dealt with.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me nature or survival, please, if you'd be so kind.
Okay. Natural 20.
Hell yeah, natural 20s all around, boys. So you've gotten to see the area around Gullundr when it's doing pretty good, when it's starting to be aggressively corrupted, when it's aggressively corrupted, and now this. You can tell that everything is trying to thrive again. You can see that corruption has been pushed from this spot. And the thing is, we're going into winter, so it's not like, just like, wow, beautiful greens. But there is a feeling of life in the ground that you can feel a connection to. That thing, you can hear there's more birds than when you first arrived. It's just things are coming back and things are healing. And to that extent, in these 2 months, you go to your wolves, and they are all there.
Oh,
Nobody is passed. And one of them that was seeming a bit more, the one you were probably most worried about, who's like, that's not too good, and I'm worried about it, seems to be doing better. Old, but doing better. And all, first off, very happy as wolves can be to see you return. And it is a big reunion of howls and barks, and just a bunch of wolves running around and being very excited. Is there anything else you wanted to do besides check in on your family?
well, I'd check in on them and like probably spend like a couple of days here and there, like hunting with them and just being a wolf.
Yeah. Listen, I haven't gotten to be a wolf in like 2 months. Time
This
to be
is
a
my
wolf.
normal life, and here I am, just like, how do I come back? I know how to talk now. This is weird.
Guys, I learned how to talk. It's real weird just talking to wolves, and they're like, huh? Yeah. All right, my man. Gosh, you rolled really well on those sleight of hands too. Would you go ahead and give me 3 more sleight of hand rolls, please?
Okay, so the first one is a 5.
Hell yeah.
And then it's a 16 and a dirty 20.
Okay. As you practice this and probably find ways out in the wild to be like, oh, the wolves will never know, as you put like a coin on someone's head, like they don't even know. I am going to say that also based on the fact that you rolled incredibly well when we were actively doing this, +1 to your sleight of hand modifier.
Ooh, that's what, half my proficiency.
I'm getting there, boys. And Fen, tell me what you'd like to do. You sent the package back home with a bit of a missive, hoping it gets there.
Fenn's not overly encouraged to go home. Fenn's gonna kind of wander off into the woods somewhere between Gullundr and Briarheart, and he knows Gullundr has probably got a difficult winter coming as far as food supplies go. It's getting thin. They don't have a good harvest, so he's gonna take every opportunity that he has to hunt deer, game, fowl, whatever, and prepare them and leave them outside the gates of Gullundr. Nanna didn't really seem like she wanted his help, so he's gonna take some time to himself and do what he can to help her community, and try his best to reconnect with nature. He's gonna try his best, Lady Saidr, without guidance from Saga, because he's pretty convinced that Lady Saidr is speaking for nature. If he doesn't hear a response, then he's going to try his best to reach out to Gullveig, and if he doesn't hear a response, he's going to try his best to reach out just to Yggdrasil, to nature itself. He's trying to commune, and he's trying to put back what he takes from nature. He knows he's going to be doing a bit of surplus hunting, and he's going to ask nature what it wants back. He knows he's taking more than his fair share if he's hunting these deer and ducks and everything and giving them to Gullundr. And he's going to ask nature what it wants back, and he's going to wait for its reply, what it wants as a sacrifice. That's the way his worldview works, is that if you take something out of nature, that you put something back into it. And that's what foreseeably.
3 survival checks, 1 religion check, please.
Let me pull up my character sheet. Sorry. Survival. Okay, that's 22, 18, and 12. And religion is 16.
Okay. The hunting starts out a bit thin, and then you do notice that it's as if the animals are coming back. It seems they had done some migrating, and then they're like, "Oh, it's chill to come back here." So you are able to hunt pretty well while you are out there. You take time in between hunting or waiting and watching on traps to sit and think. Not a man who prays often or has had a lot of teaching in the ways per se, but you try to reach out first to Lady Saidr specifically, and you don't hear any words. So you're like, okay. And then you try to reach out to Gullundr specifically, and it's the same spiel. Maybe a little less so, because I think you have more reverence for Lady Saidr, and we're kind of hoping on that one a bit more. So that there is a feeling being in nature. It is just you do not receive any words or visions. And then you just try to reach out to nature itself. And it is the sounds of the wood. It is the sound of animals and the wind, the crunch of leaves, occasionally the sound of rain on some days. It is relaxing. It is peaceful. There is a spiritual element to it, but you are not, nothing reaches out and grabs you, so to speak. But there is something nice about just being in nature again that doesn't seem full of terrible corruption.
Yeah, I think that means a lot to Fen. Actually, just those sounds of being nature speaking back to him in any way he's ever known. So I think he's probably happy with that.
Yeah. While you're sitting there, you do after spending a long time in the woods, many a day, you feel like a slight thump, like something like touched your hood. And as you reach back and you pull like a seed out of your hood, and there was a seed there. And this continues to happen where things keep being dropped in your hood. And after maybe 3 days of this, it goes from the gentle drop of a seed landing in your hood to the weight of a full small bird who you see is trying to bury seeds in your hood.
Hello. Hi, friend.
Hello. You can just feel like the soft scratching sound and like pecking. And then the bird just kind of sits there for a hot second. When you reach back, go ahead and roll animal handling.
Okay. I don't actually have a whole lot to do with that. It's an 11.
Okay. I will say this happens multiple times. The first few times the bird flees. The second your hand reaches towards it, it is like, no, thank you, and takes off to the skies and goes to the trees. But eventually the bird does start to stick around a little bit, a bit upset that the seeds aren't always in the hood. but it would like there to be, and it keeps trying to put them there.
Okay. I'm a bit of an expert at identifying birds. Like, for example, that's a bird.
What's that bird?
What
Tell
is
me with your expert abilities what bird this is.
I think it might be a wren. Is this a wren?
If you had to give the bird a name, that's what you'd lean towards. After getting good glances at it, eventually when it like hops onto the shoulder and it's like, but don't touch me though. And you're like, all right.
All right.
But you start to have a little companion out in the wood, and we will get back to that, I promise you, but I'm going to zhuzh ahead. Roshan, tell me a few things you'd like to accomplish, if you'd be so kind. You are muted, good sir.
Thank you. So the first week, he would like to spend time with Hertha and his mother and the baby, as well as working at the bar, because he feels like he owes it to Hertha to help with his mother. But probably the evening that that Nanna shows him the book and starts translating it, he recognizes some of the magic in the sending process and tries it out for himself. He's going to send a message to his sister, hopefully. And he says, hey, Rose, I hope this works. I haven't heard from you in a long time. I hope you're okay. Miss you a lot.
There is a lull. And a strange sound. Murmurings. Like it's hard to describe, but just like a condensed sound of voices. Like you can tell it is your sister's voice. It just seems condensed and pushed away from you. But that silences. And you hear, why haven't you come found me yet? Come find me. And that's all she says.
So he can do it 3 times a day.
Bitch, who do you think you are, and who gave you the audacity?
I think he probably wouldn't try again until later, maybe the next day, but he'll send another and ask, Rose, are you okay? Where are you? How can I come find you?
You know where I am. There is no more reply.
And after that enlightening conversation,
Roshan, like, wow, okay. 2 spell slots for that.
So while he's with his mother, does she still call him Trigvi?
In this first week, no.
Okay.
She seems to have moments where she's pretty okay. Most of it kind of goes back to how it was, but there are moments where it gets very intense. She refers to Hertha as her mom. She does not say a name. She just keeps calling her mom. But besides that, you currently don't hear Trigvi again.
then he will ask his aunt, I think he'd probably just tell his aunt about the conversations he's had with his sister, and that kind of freaks him out.
I'm not gonna lie, those are definitely weird back and forths. But you both are weird, so I don't really know what to make of it too much. I'm glad she's okay.
So when she left more than 2 years ago, she left a note saying that we would see each other again when the dawn again meets the shore. Do you think that's where she went? Do you think she went to the coast?
I really wish I could give you something. I don't know.
Did you spend any time there? I know that's where I was born, but
yeah. Weird place. Dark. Well, somebody has to bust that table, Roshan.
Yes, ma'am.
And she gives you one of those like side hugs, and then like a kiss right on the temple, and she goes back behind the bar.
After that, I guess he'll probably write to Dagwood and ask for any information she has on the coast of Knot.
Dagwood looking at a little cubby like, oh my God. 2 letters. The audacity. Yeah, you start, you make your communications. I will tell you at some point probably about if Dagwood replies, but you're currently waiting on a reply. I would like to zhuzh back over real quick to Saga. Tell me about what you want to do at your crossroads.
Oh, well, I would like to build something, something that can show people Lady Saidr and who she is, and well, that's somebody who can help you find the right path and everything. And since this is a crossroads, it's perfect. So I'm not very good at that many things, but I do stonework. So I'm going to, for the first little bit, collect as many stones as I can. And then once I get some nice big stones, I want to stack them up in a very nice way. And then I want to sculpt them into a like pedestal tablet sculpture that has her symbols all over it and some writing that describes who she is and what she's good at and everything. And then maybe if I even have time, I could do a little like artist rendition of her form.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me 2 rolls of dexterity plus proficiency.
Okay. Dexterity plus proficiency. So 13 and 17.
Okay. Carving on stone is one thing. Making the stone be tall and stand there is a different thing, but you're learning. You have time.
It's so heavy. Oh gosh.
It's just a lot of you dragging rocks over and like using like mold earth and being like, yeah, that one. And then pulling a rock out and dragging it across the ground. It takes you.
It takes 3 days until I realize, oh wait, I can use the molder to pull it instead of carrying it.
Day, just
Oh.
holy shit.
Why didn't I do that?
But on the 4th day, you certainly have a statue, and I would say that you get to zhuzh it up how you would like to.
Oh, okay. It's definitely got a bunch of small columns and then one large thing at the top. So it sort of almost is like a jellyfish with
Mhm.
like the things at the bottom and then the large thing at the top. And then it is the carvings and the writing all over it. And then at the top, on top of the jellyfish, there's the carving of Lady Saidr and two of her symbols on each side. Oh, and then if I do a little me in the middle, just waving.
Woohoo! Hello, it's me, Saga. I'm over there as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Just so I know your direction, or if you're waiting until you're further along, but you've created this statue.
Mhm.
Is it time to get your next prophecy?
Yes. Once this is done, and everything is set up, I'm gonna wait until nighttime, and I'm gonna make sure there's nobody around this time because I think this one is gonna be something that I don't want to be bothered, even though it'd be very good if people come by.
And
But,
watch me trip balls.
Yes. Gonna set up a nice little a seat of like shrubs and grass. And then I'm going to Hi, Lady Saidr. It's very nice to talk to you. I've been working very hard lately on creating this temple to a shrine to your likeness, and so it's here where plenty of people will see it and hopefully read and learn about you and get to know more. And I think I'm ready for my next step. And I think the last one went how you hoped. So, well, this next one will probably as well.
As you kneel in front of this little altar
Yes.
and you put the drops into your eyes, instantly that familiar wash comes over you, and the world goes black. And it's not scary because it never is. And you are then instantly bombarded with information. There's always been visuals. The visuals are very scarce, but you hear her voice in your head telling you these things, and it always sears itself into your memory. You do not forget these prophecies. And a long prophecy enters your mind. And as I did with the letter from Broggy, would you please casually say to the people, if you would
Okay.
like to, your prophecy. Enjoy.
Oh, yes, this one is quite long.
Yeah, you are there for a moment. You're like, wow, okay, man. But
If anyone walks by, they see a girl kneeling in front of the statue. There's like dancing jellyfish swimming around her in circles, and she's like, crazy.
and so this would be you kind of like the moments after where you're like, okay, this is what it is.
Yes, mumbling to myself. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh my. Okay, so you dwell in the shadows of a god, seen passive, Vex form at her heels. A bowl spills over, but where runs the excess? Moons circle and snow falls, a cycle ending in ice. Seek handshakes new, returning a gold leaf. A throne of white displays a predator at a crowded feast. You wait west until melted by the call of ink. 6 cross a half going east. 1 casts 2 shadows. Lay flat. Secrets knock you off your feet. Guided to an enemy your allies seek. A tower of bone, man-made bringer of sight. Keeper of its candle, now compass towards a crest worn not by a chief. Marrow meets Marred.
Marred.
Marred, sorry.
It's fine.
Marrow meets marred. They deserve what they reap. Do not interfere. The end of sorrow bringers leads to peace.
And you stay in this state for a long time, as it seems she is just carefully explaining each piece to you. And you know what? It means nothing most of the time, but it always happens.
It will happen.
And you have been given your next prophecy, your next mission. And you can delve into it as you sit there and pray. Which you do is you meet new people that come by. You get to try to explain your religion to them and be like, you get a cool prophecy, I have necklaces, and you talk to them. And one day, this is a few days after your prophecy, about 5 people on horses make their way by and stop in front of you. The person kind of in the middle moves more to the front and takes their hood off. Hello there, Miss Saga. Good to see you.
Hello. Do I recognize them?
You recognize standing in front of you is Eagle.
Yes, I thought so.
Towering above you on a horse.
Wow. It's very nice to see you. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Welcome. This is my crossroads. This is my Lady Saidr temple. Where would you like to hear about her, or where are you traveling? Do you have a moment?
I'm sure I have a moment for you, and of course the lady. And he pulls out from under his shirt the necklace you left with him.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. You came prepared.
Of course, always do. And, you know, it's very brave of you to stand on the road alone. You know, if it had been somebody else who came along, could get hurt.
Oh, well, I have Lady Saidr here to protect me, so I think it'll be all right.
Of course. Well, I'm heading into Gullundr, and if you're interested, I could give you a ride there if you'd like to head back into town, and you can tell me all about your lady, or you can stay here.
Well, I am kind of hungry. I've been foraging. It's not too bad, but sometimes, you know, you get tired of berries. So, I mean, if you have a spot, I wouldn't mind coming with you, and we can talk the whole time on the way there.
Of course. And he extends a hand down to you to like pull you up onto his horse. And very strong. You are up on the horse instantly.
Oh.
It's incredibly lucky that you've only been encountering good people such as ourselves. And he starts making his way down the road with Saga in tow. And that is where we are going to stop for the day. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Everybody back and doing stuff. We will finish up our downtime activities, and then we will jump into the next. We have a new prophecy to deal with, and we'll see where that leads, because they're always true and it's never wrong. So thank you guys for being here. We have multiple shows here at the Dice Cult. Hey, Frank, can you tell me what happens on Tuesday?
We play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. We drink a lot, sometimes too much, but we get really rowdy. So if you need something to do on Tuesday night to wake yourself up for the rest of the week, come check it out. 6:30 Pacific Standard Time here at the Dice Cult on Twitch TV.
Perfect. Also, we have my brain did a full stop. There's always the point near the end where my brain just fully stops. But if you're also interested, sadly, we have to say goodbye to our dearly beloved Call of Cthulhu. Maybe there is a place for it in the future and what have you. But for now, we move on to a weekly Saturday of Vampire the Masquerade. Was 2 weeks too much? It was. Now we're every week, so you don't have to wait and forget. So if you want to join us for that, we'd be really appreciative on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in keeping up with us or want to see some art, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. on Instagram, we have a lot of art and pictures of maps and NPCs, and maybe somebody just got a picture of Eagle. I don't know. But maybe that'll get posted at some point. Don't get too excited. It's not there yet, but it might be. And you only know if it's there if you are following. So you got to follow. Also, I think if some people are still chilling around, there's something we wanted to try, and we'd love to like raid somebody. I think that'd be really nice as we end the night and we just send you all over to just say a big how do you do. Looking at producer's message. That sounds great. They sound lovely.
Frankly.
Send it to them. We're going to raid some people, and we're going to give them the big dice cult how do you do. So head on over there once you see the prompt, and you know, we can say we can. The end.
We
That's
can
the
be a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Thank you all so much for being here. We truly appreciate it. We love getting to tell a story with you guys, and we can feel that next story beat slowly approaching. And maybe I'll give some people more bonuses on their skills because I am a kind, benevolent god. So thank you all for being here. The raid has been canceled. I disagree. No.
Bring the raid back.
But I want it back. So we're going to try to do that. Really appreciate you guys being here. And we will see you same time, same place every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Late.
Thank you for joining us, cultists.